Last month, I flew business class for the first time to China to speak at a mastermind of 7 to 9 figure founders. It was hosted on the 103rd floor of one of the tallest buildings in the world. They flew me out, hosted me, and dropped me into a weekend of private dinners with founders running multi-million-dollar brands. They paid me $5,000 to speak and covered everything else. But 3 years ago, I was heartbroken, sleeping on a friend's mattress on the floor in Medellin, cold calling for a company I didn't believe in, and posting on LinkedIn to nobody. The thing is, I never pitched that event in China. I didn't send a single email. They found me on LinkedIn and invited me. Same person, same belief. The only difference is I've spent more time on my content engine. And that's how every speaking invite I've gotten this year has happened. Zero outreach. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact system. How to set up your profile so event organizers find you, what to post so they trust you with their stage, and the one move almost every aspiring speaker skips that's costing them the booking. Let's get into it. Quick note before we start, this video is in partnership with Riverside, the tool I record all my content on. More on how I use it later. Link in the description. First, you need to understand how the buying process works in this case, because it's nothing like people imagine. Nobody's sitting at a desk randomly thinking, I need a keynote speaker. An organizer has a theme, a problem, an objective. Their audience is struggling with pipeline or AI adoption or retention, and they need someone who can stand on a stage and deliver that for 40 minutes. So they do what every buyer does now. They search, they type the problem into LinkedIn, into Google, into ChatGPT, or they scroll. They do like a mental scan of people they know are speakers, then they vet whoever shows up, and when they land on your profile, they're running a quiet checklist in their head. Does this person clearly own a topic? Can they hold a room? Is booking them a safe bet? Or will they embarrass me in front of my boss and 500 attendees? Your profile answers those questions before you ever get a message. If it doesn't, there is no message. So the organizer just moves to the next name in their search results. And one honest caveat before we go further, a speaker is an expert who gets paid to talk about their expertise. The stage is just like the delivery method. So if you haven't done that work yet, no profile tweak saves you. Do interesting work first, then use everything in this video to make sure the right people see it. Which means getting invited to speak is a search problem and a trust problem. So let's solve both. Speaking of trust, organizers book you off footage. They're not going to hand you a stage because you tell them you are good on one. And most people's problem, it comes earlier than editing. They have nothing on camera at all. That's where Riverside comes in, the partner on this video. It's where I record everything, client calls, podcasts, virtual talks, webinars, and videos I make just to have footage of me speaking about my topic. If you've never been on a stage yet, that last one is your way in. Set up a camera, use the built-in teleprompter, and deliver 10 minutes of your actual talk to an empty room. That's a show reel right there. And if you don't have any footage on a stage, speaking in a webinar fluently, with confidence, high-quality audio and video can build in that trust for you. It records locally in up to 4K, so a Wi-Fi drop mid-call doesn't cost you the footage. Every speaker gets their own track, so a panel or an interview comes back usable instead of unusable, which is usually what happens with any other platform that you use to record webinars and etc. Then the recording keeps paying you because the transcript feeds, for example, my newsletter and a week of posts. Their AI also pulls the best moments into clips with the captions already on them, and voila, there you go. Footage of you speaking, actual content that could go out on your LinkedIn profile. And editing is a fun part. And yes, the good thing is you can delete a line of transcript and the video cuts itself. So the way they've made it so easy for you to edit is actually really, really good. But the reason it stayed in my stack for over a year is that one recording becomes the whole portfolio. If you are building a speaking brand, your recordings are the portfolio. Link in the description and go record something this week. 5 fields travel with your content everywhere on LinkedIn. Your name, headline, company, industry, and title. LinkedIn calls this your author data. So those 5 fields are carrying a big part of your distribution. So stay with me for 30 seconds because what happens to them is the whole reason this works. Your post gets converted into a block of text. The post itself plus your author data. Every member gets converted into a similar block, their profile, their title, and a running list of the posts they've engaged with. The model reads both blocks and scores how close they sit in meaning. That's the game. 2 blocks of text and a score for how close they are. So when an event organizer opens LinkedIn, the model is comparing their block against yours. There says conference producer, event marketing manager, head of community, and it's stacked with posts about lineups and agendas and stages. If your block says passionate storyteller, inspiring audiences, there's nothing in it sitting anywhere near theirs. The model has no reason to put you in front of them. The model reads meaning, not keywords, which helps you. LinkedIn's engineering team said the point of using an LLM here was to surface content from people you don't follow on topics you care about, described in words you wouldn't have used yourself. So you don't need to guess an organizer's exact vocabulary. You do need to be specific enough that the model can place you somewhere useful. One more thing working in your favor. The engineering team called out cold start. When someone has almost no engagement history, the model infers their interests from their headline and job title alone. Event organizers are often exactly that user. Light posters, clear title, which means their title is doing the matching work and your author data has to meet it. Now, the practical part. Job 1 for your headline applies to everyone, speaker or not. Name the problem you solve and who you solve it for, in the words your buyer actually uses. Front load it because your headline gets cut short in the feed and in the comments. Job 2 is the speaker layer. Add the word speaker and the topic you speak on if you want. Mine reads building content engines, LinkedIn, newsletters, YouTube, founder Cynthia.io. We grow B2B brands through organic content strategist, speaker. Business positioning first because that's what pays my team and my number 1 priority. Speaker at the end because I still want to be invited to conferences and I'm not leaving it to chance. Unless speaking is your whole business, you can use that order. And your author data is only half the block. The other half is your post text. If you want organizers to find you, some of your content has to be about speaking. The talk you gave, the room you misread, the question that keeps coming up in stages, post about it. And you land in that neighborhood. And if you're leaving it all to your headline, you're leaving way too much to chance because you never know what your organizer is actually interested in seeing, what their feed is like, and will the algorithm be able to match you just by your profile? So everything we've talked about is either profile or feed. Search is a separate mechanism, and search reads your whole profile, which is where the last 2 moves come in, and almost nobody does them. Turn on the services section and select public speaking. That puts you in a searchable directory event planners use to filter by service and location. 2 minutes, 1 button. And add speaking if you want as its own experience entry. Don't bury your talks inside your day job. Create a standalone speaker role. List your signature topics, the audiences you've spoken to, and what people walk away with. Every line in that entry is indexed. Okay, now organizers can find you, but finding you and booking you are 2 different decisions. The second one comes down to trust, and trust is built by what they see when they actually click. I say this a lot in this channel to clients, to my community. Your content is the ad, and then your profile is that landing page the ad sends to. For speaking, it gets more literal. Your profile is the booking page. An organizer clicking your profile is putting their event and their reputation on you. Give them proof in 10 seconds. Your feature section is where this gets kind of complicated, and I've thought about it because it is contested real estate. And a lot of you might be running a business. And that section is already carrying, let's say, a lead magnet or a newsletter or a booking link, if you've seen any of my other videos. So I think about it in 2 temperatures, the same way I set it up for clients. Hot means someone's ready to act now, so that's a call booking or an event inquiry. Make it fast and easy for them to make the next decision. Warm means they are interested but not ready. So that's a free resource that trades value for an email. So speaking can have a real slot in there, depending on how much of your revenue or how much importance you have in that. If speaking is most of what you sell, it goes first. If speaking is something you do alongside a business you already run, you can do it one slot further down. And your lead magnet or booking link or newsletter keeps the top spot because that's what's going to actually pay you this quarter. So I'll tell you guys how I solved this one. I solved it with one link. My site, distinctivo.io, carries everything. There's a section that lays out every level of help we offer, from the free newsletter, the $99 community, the 500 power hour, to the done for you. And public speaking has its own section on the same page. A photo of me mid-talk, one paragraph about what I speak about, past events, and a button that you can book me for an event. That's just one item in the featured section. And everyone finds their version of the next step. The founder who wants the newsletter finds it. The organizer looking for a speaker finds a page built for them. The past events are listed with the actual talk title next to each one. And that's the part that matters. You can see that spoke at Summer Spotlight tells an organizer I was in a room once. How to succeed as a one-person marketing team tells them I have a session they can slot into a track. Your banner puts you on a stage or behind a mic with the topic on it. Your about section opens with the problem you solve for an audience, then backs it with receipts. Rooms you've spoken to, results your ideas have driven, companies that trust you. The standard to aim for is a profile that closes the decision on its own. You don't want a DM of, do you speak? You want a DM of, we'd love to invite you to X, Y, and Z. Now, the part that compounds. A perfect profile with no content is a beautiful store on an empty street. Content is what sends organizers to your booking page in the first place. 3 types of posts matter here. 1, own your topic in public. Post about your subject 5 to 7 times a week. The algorithm builds a fingerprint of what you're about and when you go deep on one lane. The system gets very good at routing your content to the exact people who care, organizers included. Spread yourself across 10 topics and then you become unmatchable. And the data backs up starting small. So no excuses. The system reads substance, and so does a human planner scrolling your page at 11 p.m. deciding who to shortlist. 2, post every speaking moment. Every talk, every panel, every podcast, every community Q&A, photo takeaway, and tag the organizer in the event. This does 2 jobs. It shows future organizers that other people already trusted you with their stage, and the organizer you tagged can reshare it, which puts you in front of their network, which can also be full of other organizers, and record everything. Capture moments. A tripod at the back of the room costs nothing. And that footage becomes your feature section clip, your recap post, and 3 weeks of content. You only need one good talk on camera to be bookable forever. Okay, back to the playbook. 3, comment where organizers live. Find the conferences in your niche, follow them, follow their organizers, and leave genuinely useful comments on their posts for weeks before their next call for speakers opens. If you do submit yourself to speak somewhere, your name will be familiar. Warm beats cold every single time, and you never had to pitch like a stranger. This is the same flywheel I teach for client acquisition, just pointed at stages. One talk becomes content, content becomes visibility, visibility becomes the next 2 talks. My Guangzhou invite came from exactly this loop running on autopilot. If you want to audit your own profile against everything I've covered, I built a free LinkedIn algorithm audit kit that walks you through it step by step. Link in the description. Quick word on speaker bureaus, because everyone thinks getting listed on one is the unlock. It isn't. A bureau rep has hundreds of speakers on the roster. When an organizer asks them for 5 names, they put forward the people they can vouch for and the people who are top of mind. A listing nobody remembers books nothing. There's a UK speaker who told this story. He emailed a bureau for months. Silence. Then he started posting every single gig on LinkedIn. A few months in, the bureau's managing director was liking his posts. That visibility opened the door his emails never could, and eventually landed him a paid keynote in Las Vegas. That's the lesson. Your LinkedIn presence is what keeps you in front of bureaus, organizers, and past clients every single week without you ever sending in a just checking in email. The content does the following up for you. One more thing, because someone in the comments will ask, should you ever speak for free? Yes, when the room is right. Even yes, early on. The bottleneck isn't money. You have no footage, no logos, no recap posts to share. A free talk in front of the right audience buys you all three. You can qualify the room before you say yes, ask who's actually attending, job titles, company sizes, how many showed up last year if you want, if the audience is full of your ideal clients. The stage can pay you in pipeline even when there's no check. I've watched unpaid talks turn into multiple retainer conversations because the room was right. And every talk you give, paid or not, gets recycled into content that same week. The clip goes in your featured section, the recap post tags the organizer, the lesson becomes next Tuesday's post. Nothing happens once. Quick checklist. Do these today. 1. Rewrite your headline, niche, plus the word speaker. 2. Turn on the services section and select public speaking. 3. Add speaking as a standalone experience entry. 4. Build one page you own with your topics, your past stages, and a button to book you, then put it in your features section. 5. Post in your lane 5 to 7 times a week. 6. Record every talk and publish a recap that tags the people you met there. 7. Start commenting on the right people's posts, event organizers, months before you actually need them. Do this consistently and you stop chasing stages. Stages start chasing you. And if you are in the quiet phase right now, where you are posting and nothing seems to land, keep going. The posts that flopped, the drafts I threw out at midnight, the clients who didn't sign, all of that happened between the mattress in Medellin and the 103rd floor in Guangzhou. The room you are trying to walk into doesn't know your name yet. Your content's job is to introduce you. The free audit kit is in the description, and if you want a system like this built for you, that's what we do at Distinctiva. Links below, or DM me on LinkedIn. Subscribe if you want more of what actually works in B2B today. And a big thanks to the partner of this video, Riverside. Go take a look. It's honestly one of the best tools in my stack. Link in the description. I'll see you in the next one.